Okay, hey everybody. Welcome to this week's episode, and we're doing a new segment called Knowledge vs Noob, and that is where one of us or someone else that maybe comes on takes the role of like an educator or informant, and they teach the other people and they're with us, the quote unquote noobs, something about a subject they're familiar with or knowledgeable. So today, I will be uh, explaining my huge knowledge on RPGs, specifically a new one that's come out, Daggerheart, which I have not played but know quite a bit about. I'm looking to play it pretty soon, actually. Um, so yeah, we're not gonna go like too in depth on every feature. Just kind of like my favorite parts, and maybe we can get Thomas to take the plunge.
Yeah, because I'm the noob this week, guys, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I'm a noob about a lot of things. My interests are all over the place, but so there's probably gonna be a lot of these segments, so I hope you guys like these.
So, and those who are looking to like get into Daggerheart, go to the Critical Role YouTube channel, and they have all the videos like how to get started playing and all that. Since we aren't really going into that today. And the videos are great. It's actually like from the creator of this game system. So yeah, and you can watch them play Daggerheart. So yeah, go to the Critical Role YouTube channel for more info. Now you may be asking, why am I qualified to speak on this? And
That's what I was wondering. I mean, you
yeah,
said you haven't even played the game.
I mean, I haven't played the game, but I have played TTRPGs for the
What was a TTRPG?
8 years. So TTRPG is tabletop roleplay game. So like roleplay games, I define it as like any game where there's gonna be like social interactions, but also like fighting, I guess. So like
Okay.
RPGs are a lot of like video games like Fallout. Um,
Breath of the Wild. That's one
yeah.
I know.
Uh,
I think it's considered an RPG, an open world
yeah, I
RPG.
guess it is because it does have dialogue. Pretty much any game these days is like RPG, but tabletop RPG is more like pen and paper. Even though these days there are like virtual tabletops. Um, so instead of like you can't really play with random people on the internet at your table. And some people, like I personally use, it's called theater of the mind, where you're kind of explaining something and then people kind of like get an image in their head. That's like they imagine what's happening, like you're describing it
Oh, okay.
and all that. But some people like virtual tabletops, which kind of you can put like maps, pictures, and stuff up, and you can use like digital minis. So it's a lot more like it's better for like big combats, lots of people. Personally, I don't use.
Wait, when you say virtual tabletop, do you mean like a literal like tabletop that like has like pictures on it, or do you mean like that just means they use like technology to help
Yeah,
display?
they use like technology to display maps and stuff.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
guess it's kind of pretty much any online 3D, 2D. There's a bunch. But yeah, so it's anything like the tabletop is just yeah. Think of it like board games.
But with like a story, like a bigger story.
Yeah, it's kind of like the RPG element.
Okay, okay.
But
So how does that relate to this game? This game, what was the game called? Dagger or something?
Daggerheart. So that's just the name.
Daggerheart.
Yeah, I like the name. It's pretty cool. Um, Now I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for 8 years. It's kind of like the most popular system. Um, just because it's like easy to get into. The rules are relatively simple. Um,
Hmm.
so I mean, there's other RPGs you can play. But the player base is just not as big and easy to get access to. So like, you might just not fit into any of the games available. So most people like to stick with like the large system, just because. I mean, finding a group and sticking with a group is hard enough as is, unless you know the.
as you've experienced.
Yeah. So, um, yeah. So I thought I'd cover Daggerheart because it's kind of exploding in popularity, and I don't know. Personally, I think it's gonna be like one of the top 3 or 4 systems. Cause like the top ones usually like the easier systems to get into. Um, Even if they're like not the quote unquote best. But I personally think Daggerheart, like some of the mechanics in it, just makes the game way better. And I'll get into that a bit later. So some basic.
So what video games do you think it would compare to?
I have some. Sorry, I'm gonna get into that just a bit later because I have some
No problem.
basic terminology first, just so you're not getting like lost in the.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I kind of went over TTRPG already. So tabletop roleplay game. Then game master is or dungeon master is like the person running the game. So the person that like the quote unquote leader, I guess. They're the person who like comes up with the story, has all the monsters, rolls all the damage for the monsters, kind of controls what's happening, NPCs, stuff like that. They are like they're kind of a player, but they're more like running the game, and it's not like
Hmm.
you verse the players. They're just kind of like a narrator of sorts. Um,
Uh-huh.
but like they still have fun. Like the game master still like is gonna design the game to be around the stuff they like, accommodating the players. It's like a mix. Personally, I
Hmm.
like being a game master because you'd be like really creative. But yeah, so that's that, and then uh, uh
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the game master comes up with stuff on the spot too, right? It's not like just like it's not like a narrator in the sense of everything's pre-planned, but it's like you're coming up with it, adjusting as like the players do stuff, right?
yeah, it's there's no ways to do it. Like some people like to have like everything like written out. Personally, I don't like that because it can feel kind of like pretty scripted. Like there are modules that have that where like every NPC has like a box of dialogue if they're important and stuff like that. But there's a lot of improv. Like people run it their RPGs differently. Um,
Hmm.
so like there's a lot of yeah a lot of improv. Because some people just like a, in my opinion, a good adventure, you're not like it's railroading is a big thing. People don't like. It's like where the game master has written X things, like a thing that happens, and they don't let the players do anything else. And some people take it a little bit too far. I think if you do it well, it's satisfying. Because, like for example, like
Hmm.
you want the players to kind of like do what you prepared to an extent,
Right.
because otherwise like you just spent like it takes like a couple hours probably to prep like a substantial session. But you still want them to be like do stuff, so you like leave wiggle room for things to happen, like
Hmm.
contingencies. uh,
I think I understand what you're saying because I was playing this game called Hogwarts Legacy. It's a little bit like it didn't come out recently. I'm just kind of late to the party, but I got it for like $17, and it's kind of like an RPG like you're describing, but in some of the scenarios, it gave me an option. It was like, do you want to do this? Yes or no. I'm like simplifying it, and then when I press no, it'll just say, oh well, too bad you're doing it anyways. And it really felt I'd rather them not give me an option at all rather than like force me to play how I wasn't planning on playing, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, and that's like where a good DM will be like, for example, let's say you like plan for them to come in the front door of a building and they're
Hmm.
insisting coming in the back door. You just pretend like they don't know what's on the inside, and you kind of just shift things around slightly, so the front door is now kind of where the back door stuff is.
That seems hard.
Yeah, like you kind of just move things around, so like in the end you kind of end up where you prepared, but it feels
Uh-huh.
like the players still get to do what they want, and that's kind of what I like
Yeah.
about Daggerheart. It has a lot of I'm big into like storytelling, so it has a lot of good story mechanics. Like some games, you have to do a lot of home brewing, which is like making your own content with some of the like the base rules of the game.
Hmm.
Daggerheart has a lot of it just flows nicely, um, which I'll go into reasons why later. Yeah, so the big name in TTRPGs is Dungeons and Dragons, and that's it. Just it came out. I think it was in the 70s, so it's been around for a long time. It's shifted from like its original. It was like very much like a dungeon crawler in the beginning, um, kind of like the old school TTRPG. That was kind of like how everyone did it. Now it's kind of more story focused ish. It's kind of just like milquetoast. Like it's not bad. It's good at a lot of things. It's simple. It just for people that play a lot, and they get like really into it. It's something. It's just missing um, some things, and since it's like it's the big name. Like it holds. I want to say at least 50 to 60% of the TTRPG market. All the other
Hmm.
companies kind of like follow their lead, like how products look, how do they design things. So like some of the other big systems like Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu, Starfinder, and Vampire the Masquerade. I've never played any of those, so I'm kind of like talking off the top of my head. But I've heard some stuff, and they're very like some of the mechanics are very like they like to stay kind of close to D&D. So like when you switch over to them, it's not like Whiplash with all these new
Hmm.
different dice and all that, and so everything is very D&D centered. I want to say so. Whatever
Which
D&D
makes sense.
does,
It's easy for them to just follow what's big.
yeah, because like there's a lot of other systems that just kind of go like way different with the rules, and people just have a hard time picking it up since you're almost like guaranteed to start with D&D. Like I don't know many people that did not start with D&D because there's like all the books for it. So
And when you say systems, what does that mean? Like how they work, or
it's
like
like
the type of
different
way to
brands
play?
of games. Like Call of
Oh,
Cthulhu
okay,
is
okay.
it's like a horror style, so
Mm,
it's not like D&D is like an epic fantasy. So lots of like
right.
magic and swords and knights and stuff. Call of Cthulhu is like gothic horror, um, like crazy alien creatures. Starfinder is kind of like the science fiction RPG. Um, Vampire the Masquerade is um, I don't know how to describe Vampire the Masquerade. I mean, there's vampires. You're playing a vampire. That's kind of like the game. Pathfinder, very similar to D&D. Um, it's just kind of like some of like the mechanics around building your character are different, but they're all like very similar. Like even Daggerheart, it kind of keeps like the basic. Like when you build a character, you have your class, your race, your subclass, your stats are like charisma, constitution, kind of that. Like they're all some of the names are like flavored differently, but it's all like the same thing. Uh, yeah. So reasons Daggerheart's kind of become popular is it was designed and created by Matt Mercer and Spencer Stark, I believe that's the name. Okay, sorry. So one of the creators of Daggerheart is Matthew Mercer, and he is one of the people that started Critical Role. So Critical Role started as like just an RPG YouTube channel, like they just stream their games. They started with Pathfinder, then once it got a little bit more popular, they switched to D&D, and they've been playing for years now, so they have lots of experience. They're like the name in TTRPG live streaming and games and stuff. Like they're celebrities. Like they're TTRPG celebrities, which is pretty crazy. Um, it's not common at all, but they have a lot of sway in the community. And since they have so much experience, they kind of like know what they want when they build a system. Especially since they're very story based. They want the when they design the system, they want to like flow nice and to help them with the story instead of just being a way for them to tell the story. So It has some nice mechanics that I enjoy. Um, so kind of like I want to say the things different about Daggerheart. Like just the first thing is lots of games use polyhedral dice, so that's just kind of like the set of seven dice. So you got your four-sided dice, your six-sided, your 8, 10, 12, 20, and 100. Now, Daggerheart still uses all those dice. The Game Master actually uses a D20 for their rules, like their main stuff. Like if you're like they were attacking something, they use D20, but the players
Uh-huh.
use D12, so 12 sided dice. They have one that is fear, one that is hope. And you're gonna want them to be like different from each other so you can tell which is which. And first of all, you're rolling two of them. So every time you make a roll, you're rolling both hope and fear to get a total number. It's like you've got like a six on hope, two on fear, and for an eight total. So the game master might say like a 10. Yeah, you wanted to jump over this fence. It's like a 10, and you rolled the 8. So you didn't jump over the fence, but you rolled higher on your hope dice. So it maybe goes a little bit better. And if you rolled higher on your fear dice, the game master gets a fear token, and that's kind of just like their action resource. Yeah, so you have your fear and hope die, and you're rolling both almost every time you make like an action roll, so attacking and doing stuff. And yeah, so the fear dice is kind of how the game master gets their action. So the game master won't.
Oh,
There's like a zero chance the game master has no fear. Um, Always like they're gonna have ways to get fear. Like when players fail doing stuff, sometimes they get fear, and it's a good way for the game master to have like enough actions to kind of bounce off every player. Because some of the problems
so
other systems have had is like you're in combat, for example, you have like an initiative order, and maybe the boss monster, um, he's one guy, so he only goes once, and you don't really want to give him like five attacks to match the five players because they're just gonna butcher, like insta kill most players with in one turn. So
mhm.
the fear, like the Daggerheart system with fear, the all the players go at once. Like they're all going together. They can go in whatever order they want, um, and then when they fail a roll with fear, the game master has an option to spotlight themselves. So like that's when they can just take their turn, or they can just take
Okay.
turn after someone. And since the players are all rolling and stuff during combat, the game master is getting fear, and then they can attack once, they can attack twice, kind of thing. Um, so it's pretty balanced because you you're both having similar amounts of actions, and that's what kind of like about it. Because before it kind of like I was playing D&D, when you'd run boss monsters, unless you gave them like multiple attacks or special actions, it was like okay, I attack you once, and now you get hit 5 times. The boss monster gets hit 5 times, and it was just kind of like you're just punching the boss monster like they're just meatbag, and it just wasn't really satisfying. So that's what I enjoy about the Daggerheart system. Just as like
So the
basic
fear is like
rolling. Yeah.
so the fear is like so when you say when you fail, you say I got more fear than I got hope, and then that gives the the dungeon master fear, and they can use that. They can like cash in an action
Yeah.
whenever they want.
Yeah. So
Oh, okay.
the game master is going to display like how many fear they have, and then they can okay, I'm using it. Um, yeah. So when you roll, you'd be like, oh, okay, I succeed with fear. I succeed with hope. Like the number you add up to, that's what determines if you fail or succeed. But the fear and hope
Okay.
is like it's different resources. It's like resource farming, I guess. Um,
Interesting.
yeah. Um,
So that might make it kind of hard for the players then, because instead of like Dungeons and Dragons, like you're saying, like it just goes like boss and then players attack and then boss. It's like the players are attacking, but now the boss could attack at any moment, kind of like what it would be like if this was real life.
Yeah, and they can just jump in. Like they'd be like, okay, well I'm going now, and I'm gonna spend
Ooh,
like they don't even I mean I haven't played, so I don't have a great grasp on the rules, but I've like
right, right, right.
games, I've read the rules, so I have kind of like a decent grasp. But like I was watching a game and the boss monster attacked the player, and then they attacked the player again. Now normally they can only make one attack, but they decide to spend fear to go again. Now like they don't have as much resources left, so they're it's not unfair because they're still using their resources. So like, yeah, you go out and do 4 attacks with your boss monster. Well, now you can't do anything really. Like you're stuck
No,
until you get more. Um, so yeah,
that's really cool.
yeah, it's really cool. Opposed to just like, okay, I roll, I succeed, fail. Mm. Yeah. So it gives a lot of like dynamic
Yeah,
actions
it's a
and
lot
whatnot.
different than
Yeah.
okay, okay.
And it's also like, oh, you're having a role play encounter and you're rolling with fear a bunch. Oops, that's not very good. The game master is getting a bunch of just fear they can use at any time. Like, oh, is there like an assassin in the building? And now instead of the assassin having like 3 fear, they have like 8 now. It's like, oh, well, we're just feeding the game master all their action resources. Like it just kind of it gives like an ominous vibe because you
Does
almost
the
don't want to roll as much because
yeah,
you could be getting
because it now yeah, because now it has consequences.
yeah. So that's what I really like about it. They're called the duality dice. I think that's like the official term.
Does the fear, let's just say I fail a roll, does that does however much I fail by give them the amount of fear, or do they only just get like one, let's
No,
just say?
it's just the one. It's just the one. Yeah.
Okay, and it takes one fear for them to do an action,
Um, I'm not
or it
sure
depends.
on that. Yeah, I still need to play the game.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but from what I understand, yes, it's like one fear is one action, I think, or like one.
For the most part, at least.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
spending it to do your turn. Like you got to use your turn for one fear, and then like some abilities in the game, like the game master one would use fear for their abilities. The players use like hope. So players can get hope too when they roll, and that can be used for like some of their minor abilities. Because of course, like you're gonna have a fair amount of hope that you can get access to. So like most of your powerful abilities, you're not gonna be able to just use a bunch. Um, but it's kind of nice because like you don't have a set amount, but you can like find ways to get more hope, so you can use your like little ability, and
Yeah.
that's what I enjoy about it. Um, my another okay, actually these are all my favorite things, but another favorite thing about the game is the system for classes. So typically classes are just kind of like inspired by tropes like the fighter, the barbarian, the wizard, the warlock, um, and they all kind of like have an idea behind them. But the Daggerheart system, it has a lot of those like classes they make, but they go about it by um, combining 2 of what they call domains. So a domain is just a fancy word for like a subject. So they have at the moment there's 9 domains just with their basic rules, and that's Arcana, Blade, Bone, Codex, Grace, Midnight. I spelled this one wrong. Splendor, Valor, and Sage, and they all kind of like represent something. Like Arcana represents like just having magic, like innate magic. Bone would be tactics and bodily control. So each class is kind of a mix of 2 of these. So if you made like had like more domains, you could just mix and match to create a bunch of different classes, and that's what I really like about it. So tech, like there could be endless possibilities as long as you could like think of a domain idea.
So it's like kind of like a create your own class instead of just like the normal view in a way.
Sort of like you could homebrew your own class. Um, like they even encourage that. Um, but like the basic ones are a combination of these two. So like they've even talked about it. The company that um, released it, the company that released their yeah, the company that like Daggerheart is under is called Darrington Press, and they've talked about like doing new domains. So like they had a they had like I think it was a blood one for like because they're kind of doing like a Halloween horror, even though it's like middle of summer. But they're talking about it, so like there could be like a blood domain, and like if you can combine a blood domain with a Arcana domain, like do you get like a blood wizard or something? Like so, yeah. So um, you can of course homebrew stuff, but the basic stuff they're gonna be like releasing, you can like get an idea of what the class is gonna be like just based off of the domains. Um, and each domain, um, yeah. So each domain, you get cards for them. So each class is gonna have access to certain abilities, um, based off their domain cards. So they're kind of like um, interchangeable abilities. So when you rest, you may have the opportunity to like swap out which abilities you want, as long as you have like the right level. Like each each domain card is gonna have different levels for you to use them. So like at the earlier levels, maybe you only have like four options to choose from, and you can mix and match between your two domains. Like um, you can take uh, bards for example. They use grace and where is it? Grace and codex. And codex is study of magic. Grace is like charisma. Now you could play a bard that is very like into magic, but you could still just take grace based um, abilities if you were like doing a lot of role play. Maybe like you're expecting to do a lot of role play. You could just like decide, okay, you know what, this session I want to use a bunch of grace ones just because maybe it'll come in handy more. And so you can like mix and match your abilities within your class, and I think that's really fun because in a lot of other systems, you like level up, you get these abilities, and those are the abilities you have. Like maybe if you're a spellcaster, you can swap your spells, but that's about it. With Daggerheart, you can kind of like mix and match the abilities you have access to at certain times, and I like that because it because you can't change it all the time. Like there are certain scenarios that you can swap them around in. So once you decide what you want, you're locked into that until the next time. So you're kind of gives you the ability to play different versions of your character within your character, and I like that.
So it gives you a little bit more creativity to play how you want to play in the moment without allowing you to just change it, whatever.
Yeah, like you are deciding what you want to have access to, and then you're stuck with that. So like you can be like, ah, dang, well, like in other games like Dungeons and Dragons, you have all the abilities. Like, oh, I'll just use that ability. But well, in Daggerheart, let's say you haven't chosen that ability at this time, so you have all these ones you can use. You can't use the other ones for now, but you can use them later. Um,
That's really cool.
be interesting. Like if you think, oh yeah, we're gonna do a bunch of chatting this session with some NPCs, and you get jumped by like a gang, you're like, oh crap. Well, I can't.
But now you're screwed.
All my abilities are like talking. Well, can I talk my way out of this? And it's like, oh, well,
Oh,
I guess I'm just stuck with this.
that adds like a whole new layer of strategy because now you need to be prepared for everything. Because you don't just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's what I like about Daggerheart. Like, I mean, if you think about it, it's complex in the ways you could play it, but like, for example, you have your hit points, your armor, your armor, what are they called? Thresholds, your fear, your the hope, stresses, all things you can be like keeping track of. But you don't need all of them. Like, okay, of course your HP you do need, but like you can replenish these. Like, there's so many things you can replenish or use, like spend. Just they're all resources, and besides maybe like HP, because you'd be dead without it. Um, uh, like there's a lot of things you can manage. So it's interesting. Like, I don't know, you're deprived of your armor, but you still have other stats that kind of help you survive a bit. Or maybe you've spent all your hope, but you still have stress, which is a bit more of like a extreme resource that's kind of harder to get back, but it fuels a lot more powerful abilities. So,
I know you haven't played it, but would you say it almost seems like more confusing in a way and more complex to make it a little, it's like a little bit harder for someone new to start out with it? I know that you said like most people start out with Dungeons and Dragons, but do you think it would be hard for someone to start with this instead?
um,
Or do you think it'd be easier because of the
I
customizability?
think if you start with it and you have a good game master, I don't really think it's that hard, because I mean, I don't have the core set. I haven't actually been able to buy it because it's been sold out for
Right.
I think like 3 months straight in everywhere, like online,
Wow.
on like no, you can't buy it. I've only
So it's pretty popular.
It's very popular, mostly because it's kind of like trending now, but it is a good game system. But normally you would have cards. You have a deck of cards with all the class options, all the race options. Um, so you're gonna have all of them. You can look at them, like you can hold your ability cards, so you kind of look at what you're working with, and a lot of like the resources they fuel abilities. So it's I don't know. I think maybe it could be a little bit much for like a super beginner, but
Mhm. If they tried, do you
I
think they
think
could
it's
do it?
not. I don't think it's that complicated. Um, it just
I mean, because to
it's a
me,
bit different than Dungeons and Dragons, where a lot of
mhm,
abilities have like you can use this X amount of times per long rest, and that's just it. You have no more. Um,
right.
so that gives like a bit of. There are ways to get something back. Uh, I don't know.
Like I haven't played either, but it just kind of seems like this would be almost a little bit more freeing in a way.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways things can happen, so it can be very complicated in like the possibilities, but it can be very simple, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying that I've played these games for like 8 years, so
Uh-huh.
I have this. I'm just used to all the terminology and stuff.
Right.
But yeah,
And I played
as
none,
as
so
a newcomer, it'd be interesting to like see how you would uh, understand this game. Like if we created a character together or something. We're not gonna do that today because
ooh, that sounds like a good
that
episode.
would take. Actually,
Quite a
it
while.
wouldn't actually take that long. It's actually quite simple to build a Daggerheart character. Like it's way faster in Dungeons and Dragons, and we did that together. Um,
We did.
it would take maybe even like half the time. I think it's quite
Ooh,
straightforward.
that sounds fun.
Yeah,
Sounds like a good mini episode idea.
yeah. So domains, they're kind of like the flavor that makes up your class. They're kind of like the pieces of it, like the subjects that combine to make your class. Um, but subclasses are they're kind of influenced by your domain, but it's more like if, for example, a fighter. Um, you have your domains of I believe it's blade and bone. For the warrior, I don't remember the exact name, but there's different versions of a fighter. like you're still a fighter. You still have your armor and your sword, but maybe you want to be more of like a range specialist instead of a melee. So that's where your subclass comes in. Um, or like for the sage, um, you'd be maybe you're like more of a shapeshifter instead of like a magic user. So you still have access to many of these, like your all your domain cards. You're gonna have access to those, but your subclass gives you like different branches to go off in if you want to specialize. Um, so you can't really backtrack your subclass, but it's more of a commitment, just like picking your class. And you do get abilities from them. They're very flavorful to which subclass you pick. Um, and then last is ancestry. So your ancestry is like I keep saying race because that's just what I'm used to. It's also referred to as like species, and that's just kind of uh, where you came from. Like, are you human? Are you an elf?
Mhm.
And Daggerheart comes with a lot of races off the bat. Like, you get all the classics, like the human, halfling, elf, dwarf, um, dragon, born. I think Goliath's on there. Orc, but there's also kind of like more exotic races. Like you can play a monkey. I think a mushroom. Got them all here. Monkey, mushroom, a frog, like a bunch of just like really wacky races. And in many systems, you have to pay extra money for those. I mean, you could just Google it, but it's not like part of the core system. So it's like a small thing, but I appreciate that it's like rolled into the main game. Um, and depending on what ancestry you pick, you're gonna get different abilities. Like, if you play like a frog person, you're gonna have a tongue you can use to pull things. Or orcs are like infection; they're very tough and they have tusks, so you get like tusks you can use for weapons. Um, you maybe can take an extra hit kind of thing. So, I mean, besides looking really cool, depending on who you pick, you kind of just get like that little extra bit of fun depending on which ancestry you pick. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. I like it. I kind of want to try playing a frog person. I was reading their ability and I was like, it would be hilarious to just have a tongue that I can just grab things.
Grab things from across the room or something.
Yeah. And I had another idea. I think it was like there's a class that's kind of like a tank, and their whole ability is
Like
just
it's like
protecting others and soaking up damage. And I was like, wouldn't it be funny to play like a fairy that's a tank? Like this tiny little creature that's just tanking all the damage. It's like ridiculous.
when you first said tank, I thought you meant like a battle tank, like like the vehicle. And I was so confused for a second. But then I realized what you meant. We're talking about role playing stuff, huh? Tank. My
Yeah,
bad.
I don't know. I like it. Um, so it's fun to play some like kind of wackier races. Uh, yeah. So Daggerheart, it does have some complexities to it, but it's not like rules that you're not gonna be using a lot. Like you're gonna be using your HP when you take damage, so that's you're gonna be keeping track of that. Your hope is like your big resource, so you're gonna be keeping track of your hope because you're using that to fuel abilities. So like when you're going to use abilities, you're gonna be keeping track of your hope. So it's not like off to the side. Like it's not something like, oh yeah, dang it, I forgot. Um, Same with kind of like armor and evasion. Like evasion's kind of like how you hard are you to hit, and then your armor um, score and armor thresholds is like how durable your armor is. Usually the evasion and armor score are rolled into like in D&D it's armor class. And that's like the one gripe I have. It's like, oh, like a rogue has could have a 19 armor class and a fighter could have a 19 armor class. And they technically they both have the same armor. One has their armor class high because I mean they're dodging a lot or something or they're just fast. The other one supposedly it's because their armor is tougher. But in Daggerheart, like if you're slow moving and whatever and have bad evasion, you're just gonna get hit often, very likely, and then your armor is gonna make up for that. So you can just pump a lot of work into making yourself have really good armor and just be really easy to hit. Or you could just be really hard to hit and have bad armor, but that means like when you take a hit, you're gonna take way more damage. So
You're saying in Dungeons and Dragons, when you have the same armor class, it can affect people differently.
yeah, like for in Dungeons
Like,
and Dragons, you hit someone, you roll
uh-huh,
and you get above their armor class, you hit. In Daggerheart,
uh-huh.
you roll. If you're above their evasion, you hit. But maybe someone put more into their armor instead of their evasion. So yeah, you hit them really easy, but also your attacks don't really do that much damage because they have really good armor.
Mm.
In D&D, like unless it's like usually magic items will be like, oh, reduce damage by a little bit. But in Daggerheart, your armor is reducing your damage. Your evasion is making
Okay,
it hard to
so
hit. Yeah. So they're different
it's like
stats.
adding more depth to what Dungeons
Yeah.
and Dragons have.
I like it because it's not like the oh you hit and you deal damage. Like it's like what
Uh-huh.
I have big armor. Like oh
Well, you hit, but now how much did it do?
you broke my armor. Like what? You broke my armor with a small dagger. Like what? Um,
Oh, okay.
but yeah. So there's a lot of like mixing and matching stats. Um, I actually would be interested to make a character with you and see how
Yeah, that sounds
confusing
like a
it
lot
is.
of fun.
Personally, I don't think it's that confusing really. Like they're especially if
Well,
you watch their YouTube videos, they're really good about guiding you through creating a character. Like it's pretty simple. Um,
I mean, you say that, but I still don't know what we did when I created the Dungeons and Dragons character.
yeah, I will.
You were just telling me what to do, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, it's a bit much. And
so,
stats in Daggerheart are simplified as well. Like they'll give you just
oh,
like a +2, +1, +0. I think they're. I think that's it. I mean, it's 1+1, 2+2s, 2+0s, and one -1. So you don't have to roll at all for your stats, and you just decide where they're gonna go. It's like that simple.
he's over here speaking math, and I have no clue what he's saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I am biased because like I do know all the lingo, but
No, that's fair.
I
But it seems like Daggerheart would be easier to like. It might be a little bit harder to master, but it sounds like it'd be really easy to learn at once.
yeah, and definitely helps like to play a little bit. Like even
Hmm.
creators, he runs the game. Like he runs a Matt Mercer. He's a game master, and he has this show with all his like friends and stuff who've been playing for years. And I mean, they're close friends, so he like talks to them about the systems. And even they like are like, hey, did I get this rule right? Or this is this right? So it's I think like not knowing every rule is just like part of playing the game. Like I'm a game master.
Unless you're the creator.
Yeah, like I'm a game master, so I run the game. So I kind of have to know everything to an extent. So I'm maybe more on top of it than someone who just like shows up, creates something, and is like, oh, okay, I'm playing this. Um, but yeah, I really like the system. I don't think it's like hype. Like it's just like oh, it's a trend. It's popular because
You don't think it's just gonna die like tomorrow?
yeah, like there's like a lot of famous people. They're playing the game. It's the creator has run one of the biggest TTRPG shows in history. Is like the face of TTRPGs,
I
and
had no
now
idea
he
that was a
has
thing. People watched
his own game.
TTRPGs.
Yeah, like you'll watch people play Dungeons and Dragons or Daggerheart. Um, kind of like a podcast, I guess. Like an
Like opening my eyes to a whole new world that I never knew existed.
so even though it's like they're very famous in the TTRPG space, I don't think it's like their fame is carrying them. I think it's just like let people see the system and then people are like, oh yeah. So
Yeah, and I'm the noob here, and I think,
stats.
yeah, it sounds almost as if like in my opinion, with as much as that I know about both of them, it seems like it's more fun than Dungeons and Dragons. And if I had to take a guess, I would say that one day it could replace Dungeons and Dragons. It almost sounds like just like a better version of it,
Yeah,
more thought out.
yeah, because I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but Dungeons and Dragons, the company that owns them, Wizards of the Coast, is also owned by Hasbro. They have a lot of like drama around that because, of course, like they just want to make like buku bucks kind of thing.
Money.
So sometimes
Yeah, Hasbro is known for that.
it gets in the way of like them making a good game. So actually, funny enough, a lot of the lead designers from Wizards of the Coast have joined the company making Daggerheart. So they kind of just like copy pasted a lot of their.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's what I like to hear.
so yeah, they have the advantage, I'd say, even though they're a smaller company. Uh, I mean, they have quite a bit of money on their hands, um, like millions and millions of dollars, but they do have like an upward battle against the big company that can get their thing into every single store, can make like
Oh yeah.
products. But
But yeah, Hasbro has the upper hand there because they own so much. Plus, you're trying to compete against the one that's been around for like
yeah,
what you say, 70 years.
I think they're kind of Dungeons and Dragons is like the monopoly of TTRPGs.
Right.
Like anyone can join. Like when you go to a board game store, like oh okay, we'll play Monopoly. Like if you look a bit further, there's maybe some like cooler games, and you're like, should I learn it or should I just play Monopoly? And I think that's kind of just how it's
Yeah,
going
that makes
for a
sense.
while. Because I think there's some things that people may just like not enjoy, like having to keep track of cards or something. Like it's just maybe not simple enough in terms of just like getting started.
Do you have to keep track of cards and stuff in Dungeons and Dragons? Or
No, there's no cards in Dungeons and Dragons. It's all pen and paper. Um,
actually,
playing in person.
and,
Online, there's like
and
websites like D&D Beyond. You can create your character and it has all your stats and stuff on there and abilities. But yeah, I think Daggerheart is going places, and maybe they won't ever beat Dungeons and Dragons as far as being mainstream. Like even Dungeons and Dragons, I want to say it's only really had like it's popular in pop culture, but it's like there's a Dungeons and Dragons movie a couple years ago, and that's like the first time like an actually good Dungeons and Dragons movie had come out. Like before, it was just like
mhm,
Panic. So even the biggest brand out there has had a hard time being like super relevant in culture, even though a lot of people know.
yeah,
So I think Daggerheart's gonna have the same problem, just because like it's a game. But if you know,
right.
if you're like in it, like not just like someone who just playing it maybe occasionally, I think a lot of people that are pretty serious about TTRPGs are gonna play Daggerheart.
Right.
I know,
Yeah, and like you're saying,
switching over.
yeah, yeah. And I think with what you're saying is Dungeons and Dragons isn't that popular in the first place. So not the big company, the one that everyone knows about, is still having to fight for relevancy. So it's gonna make it extra hard for the little guy to come out on top.
Well,
Or is that not what you're saying?
they're very popular. Like a lot of people just have Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of people play it, but I think once you like play it quite like TTRPGs quite a bit, you just maybe your preferences will change.
Who
Like it's like playing I don't know what's an obscure board game, something complicated.
Blender?
Yeah. So like maybe the people that play board games weekly or a couple of times a month, they don't really want to play Monopoly all the time, so they want to play something like Blender or maybe like an advanced version of Catan.
Hmm.
But I mean, Monopoly still does good. Like Dungeons and Dragons is still popular. People will still play it and buy stuff. I just don't think like a seasoned TTRPG person will be playing as much as before, just because they don't get what they want out of it. Like me, I like things to be kind of smoother and very story oriented, and sometimes Dungeons and Dragons like the rules can get in the way of that a bit. And it can feel kind of just like a combat system. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, of course, I need to play this game to like really understand it, but I've been
We'll do an update
listening.
once you've played.
Yeah, like I've been listening to videos for a while, watching videos, but I haven't played. And once you play, it's a whole different ball game. So yeah, we can do like a follow up episode. I think that'd be fun. Like maybe like creating a character and running a mini session or something for you.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's kind of my brief. I don't know, 1 hour. We've been recording for like 1 hour now. I don't know what the video will be. My brief 1 hour summary of what I like about the game. Me rambling.
Yeah, this his 1 hour trailer to the game to let everyone know why they should play it, even when he hasn't yet.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean it sounds fun. That seems like something I could get really invested in. It seems I don't know, it just seems really cool.
Oh yeah.
When I've heard people talk about Dungeons and Dragons, it's almost like it's always seemed really hard for me to get into,
Mm.
but maybe this is like another chance for people, and it seems more like you have more options and it can be more story based for the people that aren't sweats, it can be a little more enjoyable. But drop any comments down below what you guys think. What you guys think is it going places? You guys think this is just a trend, or if you played it, let us know what you guys think about it.
Yeah, definitely give us feedback on that. Um yeah, I I enjoyed this. It was fun actually like reading all of the rules for once. Yeah, I spent the afternoon
Yeah,
like
his
going
research
through it.
session was just him getting a nerd out.
Yeah, it was it was fun. I drank Gatorade and just like scroll and eating biscuits. Gatorade and biscuits while I just scrolled through all of it. I was like,
He's
ooh.
losing sleep over this. I gotta get it all. I gotta find as much info about this as I can.
Like
I
for the
can't
frog
stop.
one, I was like, oh, that is gonna be fun to play a frogman. Ooh, this ability is kind of fun. Oh, okay.
He hears frog and gets an adrenaline rush.
It's just like three
Starts thinking of
hours
all
of
the ways he can
doing that.
exploit it.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, well, well. Looks like this ability could be very useful. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, and it's a oh my gosh, what is it? Uh, is a 135 page document. Some of it is like
The rules?
the basic info on like if you're gonna get started playing. But it's
Basic info is 130
to
pages.
be fair, a lot of it is like classes. Like one class would take up like 4 or 5 pages, and then like I think it was
And you read it all.
the pages of swords. There was like I think it was like 4 or 5 pages dedicated to just different weapons, um, and like armors and stuff. So
Okay, that's pretty
a
cool.
lot of it is just kind of
I can't deny that.
yeah. Like when you're creating your character, you're maybe only using like 5 or 6 pages of actual information. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I can't. I really need to pick up the game when it's actually restocked on like Amazon or something.
He's watching the Amazon paid refreshing all hours of the
I
day.
actually did. I
In
checked
fact,
it.
while we've been recording this, he has been the whole time.
And it's cheap too. I think it was $55 for the starter set, which comes with like the basic rule book, which is like a really nice book with art. And then it comes with the whole deck of cards, which gives you all the races, all the classes, all the domain cards, um, and what's else? I think it has the no. I think that's all the cards. So it comes with like a nice deck of cards too. Like so, $55 is really cheap, honestly, for a TTRPG. Most books cost that much, and then you have to buy other stuff. And
But this comes with it all.
yeah, like you do have to print like a character sheet, but it's 1 page.
Oh,
Yeah,
and they don't give me that for $55. What is it?
yeah, and it's online,
No, I'm just kidding.
so you can like roll up with your stats and some abilities on your character sheet, and then you can have your cards for like quick reference. So yeah, I am. We're not sponsored, but if they would, if Darrington Press wants to sponsor us and send us free Daggerheart, I would not be opposed.
He would gladly take it 10 times over, I think.
I mean, I'm
I can hear him foaming at the mouth.
glazing them so hard right now. If I was sponsored, and
They better not sponsor us. If they sponsor us, we're never gonna I'm never gonna hear the end of that.
yeah,
Like you're just gonna nonstop. You don't even care if we're sponsored. You just dedicated a whole hour and a half
sponsored, I'm
segment.
gonna like just weekly segment. I'm gonna
It's
be a
like Breeze
random man.
Dragonheart. He's gonna find a way to bring it up in every single
Every
circumstance.
every shameless plug. Give him a shill. Yeah, Matt Mercer. Please email me. Yeah, but yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was fun to make, and this is the surface of one rabbit hole of my RPG knowledge. I mean, we could do a whole series on this. I don't know if you guys even want to go there, and that's just one of my hobbies. But yeah, we're gonna milk this series. We both have lots of knowledge. We have big brains.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. See you guys next episode. I don't know how to end this. I think we
Yeah, just like that.
ages ago, and I won't shut up. I just kept talking.
I think that worked. I think that worked. We'll call it there.
See ya.